Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fragrant Bunker. We got Chanel breaking news. A brand new Chanel fragrance is gonna be released and Chanel just snuck it past us as they usually do. No grand announcement, no ad campaign in Vogue or any other magazines. Nothing. No billboards on the streets. You know how they do. Very subtle, very hush-hush. And usually the hush-hush and subtle is connected to limited editions. So it's not gonna be available everywhere. It's going to be a one-off thing, apparently. Let's get to it. First, subscribe to my channel before we get to all the nitty-gritty and all the details. Push the join button next to the subscription button. Become a member today. Get access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon. superdacob all spelled together there as well for extra perks. Thank you to my members and patrons who have already pledged. Everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. All right, you guys. So Chanel basically sends me kind of an email, like, oh, here, like all the upcoming releases. This is something that they do if you're signed up to their newsletter. So it's not like anything special that they do for some clients. It's you're signed up to their newsletter, you get this thing. And there's no perfume in it, by the way. And sometimes I just randomly click on it and then I play around when I get on the Chanel website. If they showcase like a special set. Sometimes they have makeup sets where they give you a little freebie pouch with makeup pieces, and then I would switch from country to country, the Chanel website, to see the different prices in different countries. And also, sometimes they release certain palettes in certain colors in some countries sooner than in others, or sometimes certain products are only available in certain countries and not in others. So there I was just followed the link that they sent me via email, like, check out all the news, and then new makeup, new this, new that. No perfume in the newsletter, by the way. And then I start clicking through. I switch to British UK, and poop, something pops up and it says this. Let me cue it in, you guys, on the side. Voila. Allure Homme Sport Superleggera. Coming soon, a distinctive new interpretation of Allure Homme Sport between intensity and levity. Limited edition. Limited edition. Not only is this thing limited, but it is also exclusive to Chanel boutiques, Chanel beauty boutiques, as well as the Chanel website. Now, will it be available everywhere worldwide? I don't know. It's going to, allegedly, as far as my intel is telling me, it's going to be released officially late August of 2024. However, you might be able to purchase it a little bit sooner if you have kind of good contacts to sales associates in Chanel boutiques. Superleggera, as I learned later, because at first I thought, okay, so an Italian word, why would Chanel use an Italian word to describe their perfumes? They only ever use French words for everything. Even their Le Lion de Chanel launched several years ago. They didn't call it Lion or Lion. No, it's Le Lion de Chanel. Made it very clear. They made it very clear that it's a French word, right? And then doing a little bit of research, turns out that Superleggera is an Italian brand that Chanel is collaborating with. Also, what surprised me was that Superleggera, first of all, the font, it's like looking at a Dolce & Gabbana flanker, like Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme light blue. So, and also it's female. So the gender in this case is not superleggero, O with an O at the end, but it's A. O at the end would be masculine. A is feminine. So at first I thought, wait, why would they call a male perfume? For me, perfume knows no gender anyway. By the way, thumb up the video if you're liking it. Subscribe if you're liking it. So I was thinking to myself, why are they doing this? Why are they doing a female word for male perfume? This is so messed up. But then I educated myself and I learned that Superleggera is actually an Italian brand. And this is a first for Chanel doing a collaboration like that. They've never done a collaboration like this before. So I was like, why are they doing this? This is so bizarre. Why the need to do something like this unless they don't want to cater to those, type of customers that aspirationally dream of driving a particular type of car one day, very expensive car wearing an expensive watch. We're going to get to the watches as well. I know this is supposed to be an exclusive kind of breaking news about a Chanel perfume, and yet Chanel is doing everything in its power to make it not about a perfume. Isn't that bizarre? Let me show you the next picture so you get a close a closer view of how the bottle looks like, and this is their ad campaign. You can see here a little bit better the font, and what I meant with this is a font Chanel never used before. And in fact, it's not Chanel's font. This is the Superleggera, Carrozzeria Superleggera Milano font. It's an Italian brand for cars. Now, quickly to the notes here, we got mandarin and citrus in the opening together with aldehydes. As we know, Olivier Polge and Chanel, since forever, play with aldehydes. And then we got middle notes, cedar wood, woody notes, and then white musk, patchouli, and sandalwood. Of note is that as opposed to Allure Homme Sport Extreme, apparently they've toned down the amber in this one, and instead they have boosted it with a ton more patchouli. In fact, they call it, the perfume has an engine of patchouli, and they're using that phrasing, brand marketing, because they want to associate this fragrance with cars. We'll go. And in fact, they say that Allure Homme Sport Superleggera from Chanel's website is a limited edition fragrance inspired by the Italian concept of superleggera, which emphasizes lightness and power. This scent is a rethinking of the classic Allure Homme Sport, featuring a lighter mix of woods, less amber, and an engine of patchouli. Now, I love when Chanel does patchouli. Let's be very clear here, you guys. They have had Coco Mademoiselle as the initiator in the Y2K era of the sweet patchouli fragrance, the patchouli that has a fruity accord. They are masters at creating patchouli with white chocolate, blend in Coromandel, and also we have patchouli in Chanel No. 5, as well as 31 Rue Cambon, and all of the more heavy hitters from the Chanel range have a bit of patchouli in them, and Chanel really knows how to do patchouli very well. So having an overdose of patchouli in here, if indeed an overdose it is, I'm very much looking forward to it. The Superleggera means super light in Italian, although they do not mention that it's female, but anyway, and was a nod to the innovative construction technique used by Carrozzeria Touring of Milan. This technique involved wrapping a lightweight aluminum body over a steel frame, resulting in both very light and structurally sound construction of a car. So then I think to myself, why on earth would Chanel want to do a collaboration with Superleggera unless they're not like thinking of making this be some form of French version of James Bond? If they're trying to make this thing like a hyper masculine, I don't know what the heck they're thinking. Even though it's a limited edition, so there you go. It's a one-off thing, and then we're never going to see it again, which is also very fascinating because perfumes like these usually tend to have a ginormous price tag on the after-sale market once they are off the official market. I think this is going to be one of those oddballs, rarities. It's going to be one of those novelties from Chanel, really, because it's the first example of a collaboration that they're doing in terms of perfume, and it does cheapen the brand, in my opinion. It's not like they need to do something like this to sell a fragrance, collaborate with anybody else, and yet, alas, here we go. For the first time ever, Chanel is in fact doing it. And then I did some research about Superleggera, so let me blend in the next picture, and then I go to the website of Superleggera. We got coach builder since 1926, as they state up here. And this is kind of the beginning of the website. You see their font there, the logo. That is their logo. It's not in red on their website, but nevertheless, it's their font. And that's kind of the emblem. And then it says, discover the model. Okay, modern masterpieces. At this point, I thought, does Chanel own stakes in this company? Is this one of their métier d'art at this point? Did they buy them? Are they planning on buying them? What is going on here? Modern Masterpieces Today Touring builds low-volume bespoke motor cars and one-off commissions, each one uniquely crafted to the customer's specification. Just like in the past, our award-winning designs display elegance, high style, and sophistication. I'm not sponsored by any of these brands, just FYI. I'm just trying to figure out what's the connection here and why they're doing this. Let me show you the next picture, also from their website that I've taken from the Superleggera website. Here they explain a little bit more what they do. Concept cars and prototypes, whether built to a commission by a customer or from our own initiative, Touring's concept cars have won many design awards. Our creative team can produce static display-only show cars. Interesting. This is where things got interesting to me, like, oh, display only. They also specialize in merchandise, you know, or props. Maybe if you wanted to look in a certain way in a movie or in an ad campaign. Only show cars or fully operational prototypes. 95 years of expertise in restoration. And I'm like, oh, well, Chanel, look at that. They're good at restoring, apparently. You should maybe learn a little bit from them in terms of fixing your bags that are allegedly falling apart after one use. 95 years of expertise, they say, combined with state-of-the-art technology, a complete restoration service of historic touring cars undertaken according to the traditional techniques and using original materials. Very fascinating. Then I, go on with my research and I think to myself, well, why this brand? Why Superleggera with Chanel? And then we find out why. They've actually already started collaborating with Chanel on yet another piece that has nothing to do with perfume. And in fact, matter of fact, should have nothing to do with Chanel whatsoever. Let me show you the next picture. Chanel's Superleggera watch. Okay, for $45,600. So then it kind of all clicked together. I understood what this is all about. This is really for that type of nouveau riche customer that wants to show off some money but doesn't really have a lot of taste, in my opinion. And matte black, highly resistant ceramic and steel matte black guilloche type dial with jumping hour and 240 degrees retrograde minute. This is interesting because we got the Superleggera logo in red right underneath the Chanel logo inside of the watch. And I suppose they're using that aluminum technology that they use for the cars that we've heard before. And now it kind of would appear to me as though the perfume is released to, in a way, emphasize this form of collaboration, Chanel with Superleggera, even though I'm thinking, why would Chanel do something like this with Superleggera if they do not own some stakes in this company? Officially, they don't say that they own it. I've done some research, but maybe indirectly they do. There is a big Indian owner of and collector of Superleggera pimped cars, and I wonder if he's connected to Lina Nair in some way, shape, or form. The CEO of Chanel, by the way. Everything's alleged, and I'm just speculating here. Let me show you the next picture. A close-up of the watch. There you have the Superleggera red logo and font underneath the Chanel, and this is how the watch looks like with that Chanel leather strap on the sides, and then we got a textile woven material there. That leather, though, I don't want to know how how long that will live on the arm, but that's how this watch looks like. Coco Chanel never designed a watch in her life. Okay, uh, it's a travesty to me. This has nothing to do with Chanel. Watches have nothing to do with Chanel. The fact that whoever at Chanel wants more money and is greedy to want to push this and then also create not just, in the 80s, they made that elegant little kind of Place Vendôme shaped and also number 5 stopper parfum shaped case for a watch for ladies, cute little fashion item, not, particularly expensive or anything. As a fashion item with a tiny watch in there, like, yeah, forgivable. This is not forgivable to me because Coco Chanel never designed a watch in her life, okay? So this is not something that, allegedly, that the brand Chanel would ever do. This is something to make money. And then 45, almost 40, well, plus tax. So you're over 47, $48,000, $49,000 after taxes, I suppose, depending where you're buying it. This thing is, for me, a joke, really. I really do not see why Chanel needs to do this other than for money. because they're hoping to, also break into that territory of male consumers. If a male consumer of watches really has that type of money, they're not going to go for Chanel. They're going to go for brands that have real heritage in the watch community. They're not going to go for some fashion brand improvising itself an expensive watchmaker. It's just really, I find this vulgar, to be perfectly honest with you. And I think that the perfume Superleggera is kind of like a nod in to this, to raise a, it's like almost like a, it's not a freebie because we're going to buy that perfume, obviously, but it's almost like, hey, the perfume is going to raise awareness about this. So the perfume is the aspirational version of this. It's like, get the perfume and you're going to feel like you're wearing the watch. In your mind, that's the association that they're trying to bring there. And probably whoever buys this watch is probably going to get as a gift the perfume, or who knows. I'm just speculating here. Let me show you the next picture with some of the intel details of the pièce, of the piece, of the watch. Okay, so it's the piece for Chanel. There you go, that retail price of $45,600. Case is a matte black, highly resistant ceramic and steel case. The strap, black nylon strap with black calfskin trim and red calfskin lining, and steel triple folding buckle. The movement is caliber 1 manual winding mechanical movement for 72 hours. For those of you who know watches, you're probably not watching my perfume channel, but maybe there's a crossover there and somebody who loves perfumes and watches watches this video, and then you see these specifications and you can tell me if this means anything to you. Does these specifications mean that this watch is of good quality and particularly worth $45K or not? Dial says matte black guilloche type dial, displaying a retrograde minute indication, a jumping hour window, and a small second counter. The bezel, matte black, highly resistant ceramic and steel bezel, water resistance to 30 meters underwater. No going to the Titanic with this one. The crown is steel crown, functions, hours, minutes, and seconds. Sizes, the size is 42 millimeter. So let me go back to the second image, which is the close-up of the fragrance. As I tell you, this year has been an interesting year. So this is 2024 as we're talking now, and I will be reviewing this one as soon as it comes out. It has been an interesting year for Chanel fragrances. Olivier Polge is the artistic director of Chanel Perfumes at the moment, and the ones we have received thus far in 2024, well, there's only really one brand new fragrance released this year that is not a flanker, right? And that would be this little beauty, Comète, from the Les Exclusives collection in the Eau de Parfum concentration, released in 200 ml as well as 75 ml spray bottles. Love this perfume. You should go check out my review of Comète. And Comète, you know, they've also started because their prices are really insane at this point, $500 as of now. So next year there's going to be another price increase. So they're probably going to go up in price again, another 50, 60 bucks. But for the first release of Comète, they have released it in a white box, like all of their Les Exclusives perfumes, except this one has an embossing of a 1932 sketch or design of Coco Chanel's platinum and diamond jewelry depicting a comet as a necklace to be worn around the neck of the wearer. And so that kind of necklace from 1932 is adorning the box, as if the box were wearing the collier. So it is actually really beautiful, very collectible. But so this perfume, heliotrope based, check out my review, that was released in 2024. Then we got repackaging, but same formula for number 5 L'Eau, another Olivier Polge creation from 2016 that sees this limited edition. You see how limited edition is now? Chanel is pushing this concept on us. Limited edition box for this one. After the first edition is sold out, they will be selling Comète in the regular white box without embossing. And then we got the limited edition number 5 L'Eau concentration and flanker in this, they call it the drop, but to me it looks like a pebble. So I call it a pebble. You should go check out my review of this one as well on my channel. And this one is also a limited edition. It's a one-off, all in glass. Even the top is in glass as well, this stopper lid. A lot of orange in this one. And I'm using it a lot, as you can see. I'm enjoying a lot their new releases. I mean, look at the dent in my Comet. I mean, I am using Comet. So this one is also still available in some places. If I do find it available anyway, I will post a link for you if you want to experience this one. And then the third fragrance that Chanel launched in 2024, and I've just reviewed it a couple of days ago, would be Gabrielle L'Eau. This one is not a limited edition. It is a new addition to the Gabrielle family. We've already had the Eau de Parfum, the Eau de Parfum Essence, the Parfum, and now we are receiving an Eau de Toilette in a low concentration with a green facet of tuberose with extra added red berries. Red berries, which kind of connects us to this red logo coming later. The red berries are very similar to the berries in Numéro 1, L'Eau Rouge, the body mist that Chanel released a few years ago. But these are the three perfumes launched thus far this year by Chanel. And they are very interesting. It kind of gives us a direction in which, so these are the three, right? And this is going to be the fourth. Technically, this is the same perfume as 2016, just a new bottle. So in terms of new perfumes / flankers, I want to say we've had only two, plus this one. So we're going to have only three Chanel new perfume releases / flanker releases this year, which is not that much considering how many launches other luxury brands do. And I like the fact that Chanel takes its time. And quite frankly, of these three, they're all amazing. I love L'Eau. Number 5, L'Eau is amazing. I'm very pleasantly surprised with this one. Like I said, check out my first impressions review and main review coming soon for Gabrielle L'Eau, but very interesting interpretation of a green facet of tuberose with red berries, and it evolves on the skin as you wear it, as you spray it, and then as you know, as time passes, especially sticks to clothes very well. And Comet is a masterpiece. Seriously, I mean, this thing is just bombastic. Now, there will be another release come the Christmas season, the holiday season, and but that's going to be another repackaging of perfumes that we already know. Chanel number 5 is always the culprit. Chanel number 5 always receives new bottles or some special new box. Cometh the holiday season, so this year is not going to be any different. There will apparently be a new packaging for Chanel number 5 yet again, probably for L'Eau and Eau de Parfum. So there will be kind of a frosted bottle, semi-frosted, like the frosting of the glass blends into the non-frosted glass. So it's just kind of a limited edition packaging again, just like we've had here, limited edition bottle. But this is going to be, as far as I know thus far, and I can say only allegedly, according to my intel, the last Chanel release this year. So if you were kind of hoping for a main male Chanel perfume release, like a brand new perfume, and we haven't seen a male Chanel release since 2010, when they released Bleu de Chanel, and that's back in the day when Jacques Polge was still at the helm of Chanel before his son took over, before Olivier Polge took over and Jacques retired. Jacques is still kind of present, I've been told. Passes by the offices from time to time, you know, just to be a little sign. But anyway, allegedly. So if you're kind of like budgeting and thinking, you know what, let me hold out and wait this year out, maybe they're going to release the main male fragrance, like a brand new one, not a flanker. Apparently not going to happen this year. So as far as I know thus far, this is it. In terms of male releases, this is it. So if you want something new-ish from Chanel with a little bit less amber than the regular Allure Homme Sport, but with more patchouli, this might be up or down your alley. Stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, thumb up this video and click that notification bell to get notified. As soon as I get my hands on this, I will be reviewing it so we get to kind of experience it together. It's been a while that Chanel has released, even flanker-wise, it's been a while that Chanel has released a male fragrance, or fragrance targeted, marketed to men, even though, like I always say, perfumes know no gender. So what are your thoughts? Have you already gotten your paws on one of these Babies, did you sniff it? Did you like it? Let me know down below. Are you going to get one? Let me know down below. Till next time, subscribe, thumb up the video, and never forget to never give up on love. Thank you loads. Take care. Bye.